Okay, we are back with another episode of Shop Cars with us. We have Siddhant back. Hello, Siddhant.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode. And today we are going to be covering luxury cars. We have shortlisted a few cars before this episode.
At the end of the episode, there's an interesting surprise, which is a luxury car, but not necessarily in the luxury price range, which may turn out to be a good deal for someone interested, but we'll get to that right away.
Yes. We'll start with a Merc, then we'll go to a BMW, then we'll do a Land Rover, then we will
Defender specifically.
Defender. So we have a Tiguan, and then we have a surprise deal right at the end, which Siddhant will walk us through, which is actually on Instagram, which he found. So that's interesting. So yeah, that's about it. Anything you want to add, Siddhant, before we jump into the Merc?
Excited about today's cars, actually.
Before we start today's episode, I just wanted to quickly share that we are now a part of Zerota's Media Network. Okay, we are back with another episode of Shop Cars with us. You will again notice the cycle is not there. The cycle update is it came back, but now it's packed for Goa. I'm leaving for Goa in 3 days on Wednesday.
Good luck for that.
Thank you. And there is some content planned for Goa, so we'll see when that happens. Another short update is that I got my burgundy kit, which it's a very small, underwhelming kit, but that's not the topic today. The topic today is Shop Cars with us, and we have Siddhant back. Hello, Siddhant.
Hello.
Come back to another episode, and today we are going to be covering luxury cars. And what is luxury cars? We have defined luxury cars anything upwards of 25 to 30 lakh rupees, right? Broadly. You know what luxury is. You know luxury when you see one. So we don't want to put a filter to it, and there's no upper cap. So we are open to like any cars. We have shortlisted a few cars before this episode. Okay, so let me pull up the first car. I'll quickly share my screen. Where are you, Mercedes? There we go. Here is the first car. It is a... Siddhant, I will let you evaluate this. Let me talk through the details of this car. It is a C-200 Progressive 2018 model, which is basically a petrol. 11,000 kilometers, not much at all. It's a Gurgaon, Haryana listed car. Asking is 33.83. It is under insurance for another year, so that's good news. What else do we need to check for? Is it the first owner? First owner.
It is first owner, but something that stands out immediately is, again, not that that's relevant if it's insured right now, great. But you see how the car was registered in March of 2019? One would expect the insurance cycles to be March to Feb, annual cycles. And now the insurance is valid till October 25, which by the way is right now. So the platform or wherever this is listed, most probably just got it insured. So there was a period in between, ya to ispe insurance nahi tha, or there was a claim or like something worth investing.
Okay, cool. So now let's see. This is the car, 33.83 lakhs, 20, like we've seen it. Now let's go and see how much was this car priced at the time it was launched. So looks like this was launched at 43.46 lakhs. Yeah. I can see Siddhant typing on his keyboard, so he's going to come up soon with how much was this probably on road. Siddhant, tell us.
So this is Delhi, right? This is a Delhi registration car. To be on the conservative side, let's take a 12% is what we discussed last time, give or take, plus a percent or two. But adding 12% to 43.46 gives us 48.68 lakhs. Let's call it 49 lakhs, okay? So on road in 2019, when this person bought it, this car would have been 49 lakhs. Pranay, personal thing is this car has done only 11,000 kilometers, which for something that's 5 years old, tell me it's practically not been driven at all.
Yeah.
So, personal preferences, if you're buying a car, 4,000-5,000 kilometers, har saal chal jaye, because, some of the running parts and all, brakes, for example, the brake discs tend to get rusted and things like that tend to happen if the car doesn't drive at all. So some of those things might be worth checking in this one. And had I had an option to pick something that is 11,000 versus 25,000 kilometers, I tend to go towards the 25,000 kilometer ones, which are decently run, not completely not run at all, right? But anyway, so this is roughly a little more than 5 years old. For simplicity's sake, let's say it's 5 years old, a third of the life is gone. Our standard calculation, we'll take 1/3 of the life gone, that's 33% depreciation. And this is the first owner car. So add at least another 10% because this is the first owner, you will be the second owner. So give or take 43-45% depreciation. Let's call it 45%. We arrived at 49 lakhs on road price. If we take 45% depreciation, that gives us just about 27 lakhs as what I would consider would be a fair value. Sure, this has been run fairly less. Add another lakh because, it would have depreciated less. On a good day, I would pay 28 lakhs for this car. Nothing more. Absolutely not.
And you know how I am usually a little more generous. So even if I do 30, I would say because it looks really good. Like look at the condition of the interiors. It looks mint. Like I feel like driving it looking at this, right? It's a beautiful looking car. But 34 for all practical reasons feels like a little bit of a stretch on this by about 12 to 15%. So if you can bring it down, which is unlikely given the platform this is on. Though having said that, I also feel like this car has been in their shed for a while, as we have inferred from the insurance mismatch.
Right, exactly.
So maybe keep it on your watch list. And by the way, fun fact, if you remember the Slavia that I had first found on Spinny in my Slavia video, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But basically, long story short, is that car is still on the sale. And from 16.43, it has now come down to 15.4. There have been multiple price cuts, multiple revisions. I know because I keep getting notifications that your shortlisted car has now had another price cut. For all you know, this one could go through a similar down round of the car. So keep on.
How long back was that, Pranay? The original Slavia that we saw?
April is when I started. So 6 months.
Wow. I mean, fair thing to say would be, let's say, they reduce the price of this car by 1 lakh in another 6 months. Also keep in mind the time value of the life of the car that's gone out of the window. So do depreciate it further than, let's say, 28, 29 if you're buying this 6 months down the road and it's still available.
Yeah. The other thing I'm digressing again, but just how difficult is it to run a used car business is the other thing I'm thinking in my head, right?
Absolutely.
You have these...
Some more sympathy, Pranay. I hear some more sympathy in your voice.
I do. It's a very hard business to do because you need to make money for you to be sustainable. But if an asset is lying in your shed for a particular number of months, years, it's losing value at a really rapid pace for you to be able to justify keeping it there. And then where do you make that call that I dispose it off or I keep it? But anyway, tough business. But who cares? We are here to have fun. So let's keep on the lookout for those stretch deals.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So that was a Merc C-200. Looks beautiful, but not overpriced. So we will not.
And I'm pretty sure if you try to look for something similar generation, same age on some of the other websites, you will be able to find something that's better priced if it's coming directly from a seller. 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Should we move on to now my favorite brand,
yes,
BMW?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now let's jump into the menu of BMWs. What I've done here is I have looked at Mumbai, and BMWs in Mumbai, and we have a bunch of them here. Any particular one that catches your eyes?
Let's put some filters. Let's say 7 years or below 7 years as age. You'd want some life left in the car, and personally, I feel let's leave out the 7 series. Let's keep it at like the 3 series, 5 series, X3, X5.
Less than a crore.
Less than a crore. Okay, if that price filter exists.
That doesn't exist. We have picked up this 5 series because I just couldn't resist clicking on it. It looks completely...
And this was the last of the good-looking 5 series, personal opinion. Like, I'm not a big fan of the latest one.
Same.
I don't know what they've done with it. This was just perfection.
Same. So I'm going to look at this stunning car. It looks beautiful. Everything.
You were talking about a pristine car for the C-Class, Pranay. I think this one is a step up. It's been detailed for sure.
It's been detailed for sure.
For sure.
There's a lot of detailing on this. But this looks like a beautiful car. Let's now get into the specifics of this. First owner, 19,000 kilometers. Very compelling.
Not bad. Yeah.
For a 5 series, that's very compelling. Insurance is not there, is it? I don't see
Doesn't say.
So probably...
Although it's under 3 years, most probably it will still have the third-party insurance. Comprehensive, you might have to check.
Yeah.
Haven't given too many details, to be honest. Owner serial, I think this is the first owner. Oh yeah, it's a first owner.
First owner.
Okay. So we have first owner, 19,000 kilometers done, looks clean, 2021. Doesn't tell you which month.
530i M Sport.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Can you also quickly just go back to the pictures of the car, Pranay? Let's just confirm it's a 530i.
Yeah.
If it's a petrol, it should be, but...
Yeah, let's go through this. 530i. Looks like 520i. 530.
I don't think they had a 520i for this one. So it should be a 530i. If it's a petrol, it should be the 530i.
Yeah, 530.
Yeah, it's a 530i. Makes sense.
And M Sport was everything in this edition was M Sport, right?
Yeah, everything. I think the diesel still had a luxury line, maybe, but I think the petrol definitely only had an M Sport variant. So it was the only variant with this.
Just look at this car, man. There you go. There's the M badging. In case anybody was.
Personal opinion, the M Sport package doesn't really mean much. Apart from a few M badges here and there.
Useless. There is nothing. It's just a cosmetic change.
The alloys were nice, sure. In a couple of the cars, actually, I even questioned the alloy choice, but in this one, at least it worked, I feel.
This
2021 ka to.
2021.
Yeah.
Power play. Okay, let's go to the. Oh man.
This is the one.
BMW 5 Series has been launched in India today, locally produced at BMW plant, Chennai.
See, the 520D had a luxury line, right?
530i had just the M Sport.
Correct.
So basically, as we discussed this BMW, I also wanted to call out that all of these luxury brands, Mercedes, BMW, Audi specifically, not Range Rover, have this buyback option, like this buyback plan, which is interesting. And tell me in the comments if you want me to cover it and like evaluate whether the buyback plan makes sense, or does buying a car in loan upfront with a down payment make sense, or a car with a normal loan makes sense to a PSU bank, right? Because there are different nuances there. The biggest advantage of the buyback plan is that your EMI reduces a lot, but then there is this giant down payment that you need to do at the time of like the 4th year or the 5th year, depending on which plan do you go with, and it comes with certain restrictions. But if you are within those restrictions, then we can evaluate it in a separate video. But tell me in the comments if this is something that interests you, and maybe I can make a video on this. I have a point of view. I've done some research on this. But anyway, coming back to this BMW. Okay, so now we have seen this car. It looks stunning. We have seen the price of the car. The price of the car is, when it was launched, as per this Press Club article, the price of the car was 63 lakhs ex showroom. Siddhant has done some research, which I will let him walk us through it. Yes.
This is Daman and Leo, right? So give or take, at least based on what websites told me, it's again 18 to 20% roughly is, RTO, insurance, TCS, all of that included. So if we do 62.9 lakhs, add the 20%, that gives us 75.5 lakhs on road is what this person would have paid for this car when it was new. 3 years of the life have gone, 20% straight out the bite, 3 out of 15. And then add another at least 7-8% for the first owner transferring the car to you, who will become the second owner. So I would say a fair estimate would be 28 to 30% depreciation at least is when this would start making sense to me. So let's take 30% round number. So if I apply that on 75.5 lakhs, it gives me 52.85, which is not too bad compared to
where this is priced. So less than like 5%.
I mean, and anyway, I would assume there's a little bit of room for negotiation. We are 2 lakhs away from what the asking price for this car is. If you can negotiate this down to like, the early 50s, makes sense.
Siddhant, are you buying it?
I wish.
But tell me something.
If I was in the market for a 5 Series, I would absolutely consider this. Let me put it that way.
I have a question. This 5 Series...
Disclaimer. This is a Daman and Diu registration. I don't know what complications come with getting that in my name, and is there a mail of like, RTO charges 5 saal mein phir se dene padenge or something like that. I don't know. Like for example, West Bengal has.
That's my only question to all the Mumbaikars who are watching this. That for a car in Daman and Diu, and given there are a fair bit that we see in Mumbai from Daman and Diu, do you know what the registration situation is? If you do, just drop it in the comments for viewers. Like, would you recommend? How easy or difficult is it? If it's one of those grey routes that you get like a fake rental agreement in Daman and Diu, and then you get it transferred, I don't know if it's worth it, because it's not like the car is any cheaper there. It seems like the RTO charges are not exactly very cheap.
Exactly.
Unlike a Pondicherry or a Himachal Pradesh, right? Where it still I would not. But here it doesn't even exist. So why go through the hassle of doing this if you don't have an entity or a actual residence proof in Daman and Diu? But otherwise it looks like a great car. Price is not too far off. Would love to hear from you all on what the situation with Daman and Diu in Mumbai is. And let's move on to the next one.
Also, I think just one last thing to cover, Pranay. I think this will also start making sense if you look at the current 5 Series. I think it's been launched in the neighborhood of 80 lakhs.
80.
So definitely much higher than this last generation. Personal preference, like I said, exists for this generation over the current one. So
if you can't tell from my face, I am really, really enjoying looking at this car. So I by far, if somebody gave me 60 lakh rupees today, I would go buy this car. So I was playing around with Defender and I thought, which city should I buy this in? And so I went to Hyderabad. Let's check out the Defenders in Hyderabad. And there were a bunch of them. Let's actually show you all the Defenders in Hyderabad if you so wish. These are the Defenders in Hyderabad. I had picked out this one, the 1.1 CR 2021 variant.
I'll just say one thing, by the way. What is surprising to me is I knew a bunch of them are getting sold already. What is very surprising is how many of them are already there in the resale market. Like, do people not like this car? Once they buy it and the readily log bech rahe hain.
I think that this is like one of those, like how Rolexes have basically people just buy to flip them. I have a feeling Defenders have become one of those cars where people are, because the demand is so high and the waiting period is so high, that it's become one of those flipper cars. People are just buying it to make a quick buck on it, and that's why you see so many of them. And as you'll notice, like let's go into this, right? Now look at this car. This is a Defender.
Did I see 1.5 crores?
There's a 1.5 which I don't even want to cover and waste everybody's time. It's that useless. But if you look at this one, it's a 110 Defender. Black, looks pretty neat. I don't see any issues.
Looks clean.
Yeah, look at this.
I like the all black treatment.
Yeah. 18,682 kilometers. This says 18,555, but I guess give or take, it's accurate. Yeah, look at this car, man. Like, just look at that. It's a room, 3 BHK in there.
For people watching in Mumbai, no offense.
Okay. So 1.1 CR for this. 110 SE. Anything else that we need to look at? First owner.
And it's a 2021, so 3 years old. Okay.
Insurance. No, it doesn't.
It says zero debt, but it doesn't say still when.
Yeah, but again, 3 years, so I'm assuming it's probably something would be there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's look at how much was this car for back when it launched. And you will be surprised. This is a Land Rover press release. That it was
should have
priced...
left gold and you should have left stocks and real estate and इसमें invest कर लेना चाहिए था.
The new Defender 110 is priced from 80 lakh rupees ex-showroom
Ex-showroom.
India. Deliveries of... But I think this was introductory pricing, was it?
I mean, clearly this person would have bought it at the introductory pricing. Also, it says starts. I know these cars tend to have a long list of optional extras which can really add up, but let me also look at the current price list.
Yeah.
Price list. Just to get a sense of, starting price से कितना फर्क पड़ जाता है.
Right, 80 lakhs. Telangana, give or take, is about 20% with everything included. So that's about, it's one of the most expensive states to own a car. I had done a video on this. So it comes out to about 96 lakh rupees on road. 96 lakh rupees on road. And this guy is asking, or like this dealer is asking for 1 crore 10 lakh rupees. So they're actually asking for more money for a 3-year-old car which has done 19,000 almost 90,000 kilometers. It's just like what's going on, I don't know. But that's what I was saying, that it has become one of those flipper cars that if somebody were to go buy a new Defender today, one, we'll understand from Siddhant what the price is in Hyderabad. Maybe there's been massive inflation in the Defender prices. 2, the wait period would be so long that people don't want to wait that long, and therefore the sellers, it's a supplier's market, and hence please do not buy a Defender secondhand. Just wait for it and don't let, like, unless you're a billionaire, in which case you don't care. And if you're a billionaire, what are you doing on my channel? But but let's come back to this. Like us ordinary folks, I don't think this makes sense. Siddhant, what is the current price of the Defender?
This is the current price list I've been able to find online, and it says with effect from 24th May 2024, so it should be fairly recent. If I look at Defenders, there's only one petrol variant available, so they've clearly gotten rid of all the long list that they used to have, and that's 1.04 crores ex-showroom. Clearly no optional. I mean, sure, optional extras might exist, but this would be, Pranay, you said roughly 20%.
Yeah.
So you would add another 21 lakhs, give or take. So definitely under 1.25 crores on road new.
Yeah.
So there's a waiting period and everything, but even compared to the latest generation, you're getting a 15 lakh discount for a 3-year-old car that 20% of life has already gone through. Just doesn't make any sense to me.
So if you were to evaluate from a new car standpoint, 1.2 CR, let's 1.25. And how much would you depreciate that by? I mean, this doesn't add up.
20% straight off, 20% straight off, and then 10% for the first owner. So at least 30%.
Yeah.
Logically. So 1.25, 30% is 37.5. So I wouldn't pay more than 87.5 lakhs.
Yeah. So again, the range would vary between, And 87.5 is also very generous, by the way, because
Very generous,
this
by the way,
car is actually not for 87, the one that we have at our hands, right? This person bought it for 96 or 97 or something like that.
Correct.
And it doesn't make sense. Defenders don't make sense. And if we go back to the listings, I'll show you the other listings. They are actually
We
even
have
more
a winner.
ridiculous.
We have a clear winner, by the way.
No, I meant other listings of Defenders.
Okay.
And look at this 1.5, all 10,000 kilometers. This seems like this is one giant flipper who has bought a lot of them. And now he's selling
Actually,
all
it
of
might
them.
be the same car and two separate people listing the same one.
Could be.
Yeah.
1.1, 1.1, 1.1. It's all ridiculously priced.
I mean, if nothing else, the 2021 model definitely doesn't make sense because for the same price, you have a 2022 available. So, not that I'm recommending going for that, but yeah.
Yeah, now that we are talking, quick glance at this as well. Looks pretty much. This is run a lot. 47,824.
Oh, wow.
But again, for Defenders, how much is that? Okay, let's not waste more time on Defenders. Let's go back to our slightly more realistic cars. I had found a Tiguan. So let me now take you through the Tiguan. Which
Again,
I'm
personal
surprised-
favorite. Like, I really, really like this car.
Yeah. So this is a Tiguan. It's a 2022 Tiguan in Delhi NCR. We have it July 2022 registration, September 2022. So fairly new.
Yeah.
Less than 2 years, almost 2 years old. 42
Yeah,
kilometers, 42,000 kilometers driven. They
Decent.
don't have
Yeah.
any models. They just have one model. So this is that petrol
Correct.
2.0 TSI TSG.
And this isn't the all space, right? This is the 5-seater. This is not the 7-seater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So again, this looks like a. Let's go through the photos.
Will be clean, trust me. If ऐसे model photos में ऐसे blemishes निकल के आने लग गए, so
Yeah.
somebody will have that job on the line.
Yeah.
No,
but
if I remember correctly, this is what they have on the market right now as well. I don't think they're marketing it too much. They're just trying to get rid of active stock. But I think it's somewhere around 34, 35 lakhs ex-showroom currently. But if I remember correctly, Pranay, even you spoke to some dealers, you're getting pretty significant discounts on brand new ones right now if the dealers have them in stock, right?
Yep. So in fact, that's the other caveat that you want to take in this car. So okay, let's go through this. Let's evaluate this listing. Right? Everything looks good. Let's jump into how much was this person, how much did they pay for. So when they launched this car, this is an article from 2021.
Right.
32 lakhs ex-showroom, right? Now, if we go back to this car, this is
is
a
Delhi
Delhi
NCR,
registration.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So 32 into 1.15, right? 15%?
12%, give or take.
12%? Okay, 12%.
Yeah.
That comes to how much?
Just under 36 lakhs.
Yeah. So if this
Let's say
comes to-
36.
Yeah, so 36 lakhs. And this car is 2 years old, so not very old.
Not very old. So let's say 15% for the life of the car that's gone away. 10% for the first owner, 25. I will add a little more depreciation personally because it's run 42,000 kilometers, which is slightly on the higher side if you ask me. So I would say not 25, but touching 30% depreciation is what I would be comfortable with. Maybe slightly lower for someone who's specifically looking for this one.
But 42,000, I would argue, is not so much. But in 2 years, you're saying it's a lot.
In 2 years, yeah. Because even if you think about even the cars, even the companies themselves, when they give you the standard, service intervals, it's 1 year or 50,000. So even they're expecting them to be done not more than 15,000 a year. So 36, let's assume 30% depreciation gives you 25.2, which I said is, slightly aggressive on my side. If you take, let's say, 25% depreciation, that gives us 27 lakhs.
And this car is priced at 27.63.
Yeah,
So
not bad.
Not bad at all. Like it's very well priced.
But I think this is where you bring in the point around new cars and how much of a discount are you getting on the current one. Pranay, you might have had slightly more experience with some more experience with this.
Yeah. So I think again, I didn't really go deep into the negotiation tactics of a Tiguan because this was beyond my budget. But I remember that Volkswagen wanted to get rid of their old stock, and so you could, depending on your negotiation skills, you could get a new one for, I've read of people getting it for as low as 34 on road, right?
On road. Everything included.
Everything included. So if you're getting a new car for say 34, then that makes a lot more sense than this one.
Correct. Your warranty will be there starting from today.
Yeah.
Your third-party insurance comes for 3 years. A bunch of things that will start from today, which will be much better than buying a second.
Yeah. So you save a good like 10% on the ex-showroom then. 36 is what? 36, right? Is what we had assumed that this person would have paid for the new car.
Exactly.
So you're getting that for almost like say 33. Then it makes sense to buy the new one and not this one because your cost of ownership.
In which case, then I would take the aggressive number with this one, which is if you're getting it in the neighborhood of 25 lakhs.
Yeah.
This one is not a bad car at all. Because personally, as a car itself, I absolutely love this one. They were solidly built, absolutely great to drive. The dual clutch gearbox the Volkswagen had, great on all fronts. Right, petrol. So you have
It's a very no frills car, like a very functional, solid car in this price point. Very few cars are there which are as good as in this price point. So,
because I think this is the starting price point for then you start getting into the Fortuners of the world, which again, Pranay has now become a fan, but I'm personally not a fan of.
I'm just a fan of the cost of ownership. So I look at cost of ownership, right? And then if you look at the cost of ownership, it's a function of three things. It's the buying cost, selling cost, and the service cost.
Pranay, ऐसा करते हैं, 2 Defender ले लेते हैं because cost of ownership is appreciating.
Defender तो investment है यार. You should buy a Defender instead of buying
stocks. That is the takeaway from this episode. Stocks छोड़ो, real estate छोड़ो, gold छोड़ो.
Defender खरीदो. Okay, now we'll go to the last 2 listings. 2 or 1?
Last actually. We have one more. Yeah.
Which is your listing. So Siddhant found this listing on Instagram. I'll let him walk you through it.
And this is purely, based on my pastime में जो ऐसे scroll करते रहते हैं और कभी कुछ दिख जाता है. This just happened to be one of those deals which I think is making a lot of sense and is definitely a great car for someone in the market, for someone in this price range. So quickly, details for this one. It's a 2021 Jeep Compass. It's a petrol variant. It's the variant specifically, the limited option is what the listing says. It's the automatic, 3 years old. It's done 52,000 kilometers, which is slightly on the higher side. But if the car has been maintained periodically and all the services have happened, I don't think it's too much. Price says 14.5 lakh fixed. I'm sure if it's a dealer, there's room for negotiation. So those are the key highlights, right? Petrol, automatic, 3 years old, limited option, which I think was just one below the top end variant. Done 52,000 kilometers. And Pranay, let's just go through some of the pictures. I really like this color personally, this this sort of steel gray kind of thing. And personal preference, this was the updated interiors that Jeep brought out, which was, in my opinion, a significant upgrade over the previous generation Compass. I really like the brown and the black that they had going on in the dashboard. The sunroof tends to make the car feel a lot bigger on the inside than it actually is. So plus point on that as well. Now let's come to how much this car would have been new. What is the fair price?
It looks like a solid car, I think. Actually, you're right. Like it looks like in good condition. The only problem is these white seats with a kid at home. I'm really worried about white seats in life.
From 2 years of now owning a Jeep Compass, definitely a great car. And the white seats haven't been that much of a problem actually.
You don't have kids, na?
Fair.
Okay, so now let's jump into Siddhant. How much was this launched at?
Okay, so if you just scroll down, this is the facelift version launched early January 2021. We are looking for the limited option petrol. So if you go down, longitude trims, limited. Oh, there you go. So see, the top end was the Model S. This is just one model below that. And the one we are interested in was 23.29 lakhs ex-showroom. This is Delhi NCR. It's a UP16 number. I'm assuming in the same ballpark, 10 to 12%. To be conservative, let's go with 12%. So 23.29 lakhs, add the 12%. That gives us 26 lakh at showroom. On road. 26 lakhs on road is what this person would have paid for this car when it was new. Now the details that we know are this is 3 years old. So at 20% of the car's life is gone. The first owner coming to you, add another 10% for that. So 30% depreciation. And I would add a little more because personally, I feel this car has done a little more than what I would consider to be average, 52,000 kilometers in 3 years. So ballpark of 35% depreciation is where I think this car starts making sense to me personally, right? So if I do 26 lakhs at 35% depreciation, that gives me 16.9 lakhs, which now there's 2 ways to look at this, right? One, it's a great deal. Go look at it if the car makes sense, Why not negotiate further? Because typically people do negotiate a little bit based on what their price is. But so what the number I came at was 16.9. This person is asking 14.5. Now, either this is a great deal, in which case, go in with a little bit of apprehension. Is this an accidental car? Has there been some water damage? Is there something that's hidden that we don't know? And if everything checks out, actually the price looks pretty convincing. I would go for this.
I have a feeling this is a second owner car.
It says ownership single. So if
It
all the
says ownership
details check
single.
out, it's a great price, like I said. See?
But what's the catch? Can't be.
Maybe it's, I mean, it has to be a limited option because it also has a sunroof. I know the Longitudes didn't have the sunroof. So everything checks out. Either they put the listing and maybe they'll go and say, अच्छा नहीं हमने गलत price लिख दिया था. We meant to put 17.5. I know गलती से 4 दब गया or something like that. I don't know.
This looks too good.
See, which is why I said, like, I looked at this car and I was like, oh my God, if I was in the market for a Jeep, this is a great, like, I would go today. I would stop everything I was doing and I would go today to check this car out. But finally, we have a deal for the day, deal for the episode.
Deal of the day. And also, if you want to reach out to this person, let us know and we'll share the details with you. Just drop us in the, we'll leave a Google sheet in the description below. If you're interested in the Jeep Compass, just let us know and we'll connect you to this person.
For everyone watching, this car is in Delhi, unfortunately. I mean, I think it'll make more sense for people in Delhi NCR to go see this car. But if you're from outside, we'll be happy to help you out either way.
Okay, cool. That brings us to the end of this episode.
Ah.
A lot of different interesting cars. My favorite being the 5 Series, the Double Duo 5 Series. I would take that if I had the money. But I love it. I can't stop thinking about it. I am also very amused with the Defender. That what are these prices? But I think that brings us to today's. That brings us.
If any of your viewers, by the way, have a Defender, Pranay, I would urge them to please tell us what is the deal with Defenders. Like, how can it be an asset class? It does not make sense.
What's happening with the Defenders? But anyway, let's see you guys in the next one. If you've made it this far, please like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Drop us a comment. What did you think about this episode? What do you want us to cover next? Any particular cities, any particular variants, any particular models? Let us know. We read them all and it keeps us going and keeps us inspired to make the next one and window shop cars with all of you. We are also thinking of doing this live someday. So maybe when we say hit 20,000 subs, which I know is just a milestone I made up right now. But maybe when we hit 20,000 subs, Siddhant and I can do this live and you can join us in the live stream and we can all do it together. You can send listings in the chat group and we can pick it up from there and we can play around with it. So lots of ideas. We can continue to do this in many different ways. But keep us posted on how you like this and see you all in the next one. Thank you, Siddhant, as usual.
Of course.
Great fun.
I love doing this with you, Pranay. And hopefully we keep doing many more.
Great fun.
एक दिन तो कुछ ढूंढ के निकालेंगे which we actually get also.
खरीदेंगे भी यार, खरीदेंगे भी. बस देखते ही रहेंगे हम. Window shop ही करते रहेंगे. एक दिन जाके actual shop करेंगे, ठीक है?
And that will start a new series, buying cars.
We'll become car collectors. Who knows? Never say never.
देसी जेल है नो. सही है.
चलो, all right.
See you.